Good morning. Well, I slept in. I have one of those phone chargers where you just put the phone on the charger, and I guess I bumped it or something because it wasn't quite on there. And I found that if you don't have it on there quite right, it will like actually drain your battery. So it was dead, and I didn't wake up until the alarm went off for my wife to wake up the kids. So yeah, but you know what? It looks like we didn't miss anything. Oh man, let's come in here. S&P 500 opened down a little bit over the weekend, but we're still just kind of chopping around the 3906 area. Treasuries recovered slightly from Friday. Actually, I would say recovered pretty good from Friday. Remember on Friday that huge dumpster fire of a day when the SLR extension wasn't added. So oil still recovering. It looks like we rolled over there. Rolled over. There we go. Gold flat, silver. Oh, silver down and gold not. That's interesting. And not what I expected to see at all, but And copper flat to sideways. That must mean that the dollar's actually the dollar's down. Well, it's down, but it's not down from this thing. Wait, what is the 17th? Wasn't the 17th the 17th was I gotcha. 17th was the Federal Reserve news. 19th was the SLR news. Yes, where they went up. But I think that the dollar should go down. Somebody clearly, yeah, they're trying to cross silver. Somebody clearly has a big position in silver and gold. I'm really starting to think that those guys maybe had the right idea when they were like squeeze silver. But I also think that part of it was that because they squoze it and then everybody jumped out, that silver was in what do they call it, backwardation since then. But you'll note that it hasn't gone below that original price. Where is it? That's 60. Here we go. Silver. You notice that they're still where they were when the original silver squeeze happened. Wow. I didn't realize how big that move was. When that move happened, I thought, okay, that's not bad. Maybe they'll go even more, double that or something. No, it wasn't even. It was so huge. Are we assuming that the larger amounts of stimulus given to the USD will devalue the currency at a faster rate than the others? Well, I don't know how much it was compared to the others, but I think one of the issues that you're having right now is that the United States did way better with the vaccines. It's kind of funny how the media plays this, because if Europe was opening up right now, that you would just be hearing absolutely everything about it on the news, right? But when because of the way that the vaccine was developed in the United States, they have more vaccine faster, and the economy is opening up faster, and that is a significant factor in the currency flows. And so that is why the US dollar hasn't been decreasing quite as fast as many people expected. The United States is opening up faster, ergo. I know. I need to, I don't know what I can do about this, because this is the second time in a month or so that this has happened, isn't it? I don't know. It's just, I went long at 725 for no reason. I don't know. This market doesn't look very interesting at the moment, does it? So I slept in, but it doesn't look like I missed much of anything. I think I should go and get something to eat. I wasn't really planning on making huge moves today. Maybe tomorrow. I should be more on top of things tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say. Let's check. Well, let's make sure everything's up first. And get Discord over here. Bum, 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 bum. News at 8. Oh, yeah. So that's good observation. Is the first thing is that we should come in here. Okay. Existing home sales at 8 o'clock. Okay. This chart right here, does it? I forget. There was like something about it where the indicator didn't really update unless I had it like on. Huh. Well, anyways. Keep an eye on that. Check Twitter. As soon as here's Brannigan Bear. As soon as the 10-year yield stages a short-term bounce, silver and gold will present easy buy opportunities. The 10 years hitting oversold territory and daily indicators. Matter of time before this opportunity presents itself. That's not. Yeah, I don't know. I have two problems with what Brannigan is saying there. Number one, just because the treasuries are oversold does not mean that they will bounce. And number two, I really don't think that the gold should be as correlated to the treasuries as they have been. But I digress. Like, it's so backwards, right? The currency is being devalued, so the interest rate is rising, both because of expectations of an increasing economy and because of the amount of supply that they're putting out there. So everybody's concerned about the currency being eroded, but gold and silver are doing poorly because the interest rate is rising. So gold and silver are not being a hedge against inflation as they're supposed to be. Is just like bizarro world, I think. Market your retweet Scott Sky or Skirm. Skyrm. I don't know how you pronounce that guy's name. The impact of SLR on repo 3 month end and quarter end funding pressure and volatility will return as banks once again work to minimize their assets over statement periods. Do you believe that Bitcoin is taking away from gold? Well, a lot of people have been saying that. I don't know how I would prove that that is happening. But Bitcoin has been moving up at times to hedge against inflation, and gold and silver have not. But the problem is that could all just be a coincidence. Like, the thing is with Bitcoin in particular, Bitcoin when the dollar is going up, right? When there's dollar strength coming in, we see gold and silver get creamed, but we don't see Bitcoin get creamed, right? Like the correlation isn't both ways. So it's over there in Bitcoin. It's like everything is good for Bitcoin is what happens with that one. The people that buy it, they just buy it. And it's like, it still appears to me that Bitcoin's demand is largely coming from Tether. And I don't have a lot of confidence in that money is real. So it's a good theory, but I don't know how we would prove it. Well, Dr. Fauci fires back on Rand Paul after viral Senate clash. I keep seeing lots of negative stuff about Fauci. I saw this video the other day where this guy who was, I think it was that he had won a Nobel Prize for something to do with virology, saying that Fauci was just an administrative guy and that he didn't have a clue what he was talking about. We got the Fed talking all week. Yeah, that's a good point too. They're gonna try and hold things up, but I don't know. You remember last week there was a couple of speeches where they were expected to move the treasuries a certain direction and they didn't. It seems to me, I could be wrong. Another one. How would you prove it? It seems to me that the Treasury, or sorry, the Federal Reserve kind of wants interest rates to be higher. They're, I think, a little bit pressured by what's going on in the markets and the fiscal stimulus and everything. And the interest rates rising maybe takes a little bit of pressure off of them. Yeah, that's not good for the economy overall, but like a small rise in interest rates is no big deal, right? The problem is that you've got all this stimulus coming in. Oh, that came off there. Okay, so I guess I should go and get at least a Pop-Tart to eat. I feel so dumb. What can I do to stop that? I mean, I could go back to plugging it in, but that had its own problems. Maybe I should look for a different dock. That baby keeps moving it. Ah! Maybe I should build it into the table. Yes, that's what we should do. We should build it into the table. The Bitcoin ETF boom. A bunch of stuff coming over the news squawk, people saying stuff, but Irish Prime Minister talking about Moderna. Moderna told him it is very worried about their capacity to source raw materials in case of EU action. See, it's like, I don't get what is going on in Europe with the vaccines, but apparently they have like really screwed it up. Like, it's funny seeing people try to explain it, that the United States ultimately will win, beat the other countries on the pandemic purely because of the vaccine. You got stomped out. Yeah, you know what, Ace? Like, I said this before, but I really, really think that you should take a look at it. When the market is too low, that particular trade has a really high probability of turning on us. And the past few weeks, for whatever reason, there's been an unusually high amount of low activity. And look at that. It pops right back up. That's so retarded. Fed's Powell, we don't want to destabilize with a central bank currency. Wait, what? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go get food while he's talking. Like, I think I can go into that indicator that I'm into, the Alice indicator that I made, and say, if it's above, only take the trade if it's above this and below this, and it would do better. In fact, I bet you could probably do that on a lot of the trades. So one of the things is that I always would limit it to like my trading session, so that it would trade some of the extended session, but not all of it. But you could use that to filter out the low volatility times and during that, but also the low volatility times during the day that sometimes pop up. V, what is V? Verizon? No, that's VZ. Powell we would not proceed on a digital currency without congressional authorization. That might be tough to make happen. Do you think? Oh, Visa. I see. Well, in the overnight action, it looks like tech stocks once again. Remember that there was a little bit of a run in GameStop on Friday, so some of the most shorted stocks might do well here. There's reason to believe that there's just going to be some short squeeze. Man, it is just hard to keep Tesla away from that 700, isn't it? Yes, it does appear. You know, I should zoom in on the Goldman here. Let's show the past 3 months. Yes. They've still been doing okay here, although it's gotten a lot more volatile. Oh, I have another one for Goldman. That's funny. I should probably change that one to AG. Yeah. They stopped out right at 17 for the options and then down again, huh? You think it's just options in Tesla? Could be. Well, I don't know if I agree with Brannigan Barrett about that. Treasuries may have to bounce hard here, and that will help treasuries or help gold and silver. But I am seeing some attractive prices here. I am seeing if they had another dip or two, I might want to buy more. Although, if that happens, let's see here. Oh, no, I can't do that. I was about to say maybe the correct call there. If it went down, then that would mean that the volatility would go up. So, well, it might go up. So it might mean you want to sell some calls, but well, E-mini looking pretty erratic on the open, but positive still. I saw some of those news headlines about Miami, how they were calling a state of emergency because too many people came out. It's like, what the heck? And then I saw these people on TikTok. They're like, this isn't anybody from Miami. Heck no, it's 60 degrees out there. We don't go out there in that kind of weather. Oh, man. Wow, Powell said that crypto assets are more like gold than the dollar, huh? More for speculation and not for means of payment. Yes, he's right. The Bitcoin is not as a means of payment. It's so funny because I made a post about that on Twitter, and the crypto guys got so triggered by that. But it's true. It's not an effective means of payment right now. Uzi, I reached out to my friend in Miami about it, and he said it's all pretty normal, lol, but the difference is this year the police are doing something about it. Oh, yeah, that might be true too. Well, they don't have any of the major parties or anything, right? Like, I think Ultra got canceled, and it's not spring break yet for us. I think that's another week or two. Well, them sellers trying awfully hard down here. Not getting much out of it yet, but it sure seems heavy, don't it? Okay, getting a little bit of activity, but Jigsaw Dom is being weird. What's with that? EU slaps sanctions on China for abuses against Uyghurs. Okay, I will get out of that one. I don't know if that was news. That was likely just the market doing its thing. But if it's going to do that there, we want to adjust our strategy here. Okay, the U.S. is going to announce sanctions on China too. Of course, it goes higher. Now, that one was a big one, too. I'm thinking that was because they announced that there was going to be oh man, I think that was maybe because the US announced sanctions on China. As a guy here, Powell, Fed focused on bias in algorithms used by banks. Oh, But this is exactly why I got out of that one, because I'm mad that it went up, but you're likely to get a little bit of a vacuum. I'm kind of wondering, though, if maybe it doesn't matter quite so much just because of where it is in relation to the open. So now we're getting it again, huh? Oh, man. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that win. Lira and Turkish stocks collapse after Erdogan fires central bank chief as other emerging market currencies struggle. The moves in Turkey sent traders into safe haven currencies such as the dollar, Japanese yen, and away from emerging market currencies. So this is what happened there. Is the central bank chief raised interest rates, and so Erdogan came and fired him. And I'm sitting here like, what were they doing raising interest rates? Like, that's crazy stuff, right? Can you imagine if that happened in the United States, what kind of chaos it would cause? Okay. I was thinking about buying it back there, but then that other slip happened. So I was like, maybe today there's just not much opportunity for us. I mean, I'm feeling like there's opportunity because I certainly could have been long in some of that. Gabby did get her trade. She got 2 of her trades, I think. I think she took both of them there. Yes, she did. She took both of them there long. That's where I was saying I should go long there, but when it slips like that, I also kind of have to wonder about the potential for adverse excursion, and if it's based off of news, how much. So the question here is, what kind of sanctions, right? U.S., Canada, Britain, and the EU are set to announce an array of sanctions on China over what the U.S. officials have called a genocidal campaign against Uyghur Muslims. What are the sanctions, though? How bad is this? Because if they're actual market impacting sanctions, I don't want to buy here. I don't want to say you. I don't want to buy here if that's what's going on, you know? Okay, so there it goes. New high, but into absorption again. Is your ES chart an auto trader? I have a bunch of robots going on. Just to let you know, if you see a robot take a trade on my screen, on that little one in the right, I wouldn't take it. Well, there's one that's pretty damn good, but there's this other ones that I'm testing on it that are intentionally bad. So actually, we should go and look because she did have a bad day the other day. Gabby is still in her trial period. Gabby is still in her trial period. Okay, so she's had a couple of oh, how come? Oh, those are just days. So she had one day that was bad. I think it was the Thursday or Friday. That ended up being pretty bad, apparently. Oh, I thought she did good on Friday. Oh, well, whatever. But, like, she's recovering it back, but you can see that it's not quite all that. So, we didn't want her to run her for about a month to see how she does. How much of a drawdown is that, by the way? Currency. That's acceptable. That's intolerance. Well, it still wants to go long at least. Do you take manual trades on the DOM? Yes. Not always on live accounts. Today it's not on a live account. So I had a manual trade on the Dom earlier, and it was a good one, but I got scared out of it from all of this volatility. But now it's going, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I was still in. I mean, that's pretty dang good upside there, wouldn't you say? Yeah, the SLR. So the SLR changes some of the banking requirements, and I believe that the end result of that is going to be quite a bit more end of month rebalancing, which means that what is it next week? Yep, end of this week, but mostly next week could be really volatile. And here again is where I was like, I'm not so sure that the Federal Reserve is actually mad that the interest rates are going up. Because why didn't they extend the SLR? And more so to the point, why didn't they say anything about it in the Fed meeting? Right? He was avoiding talking about it because the decision had been made, but they didn't want to spook the market about it. So they wanted it to be like a weekend thing. And you put stuff like that out on a weekend, right? Which is exactly what they did to sneak it under your noses. The banking system is running out of balance sheets. Soon there will be too much cash. That's what I'm saying. Like the central banks are like, we're going to have to tighten. Capital controls imminent as Turkey slides beyond point of no return. Well, this is just still going. I wish I had the confidence to jump on this, but how far can it go? Well, let's look for some daily targets. Okay, so pretty similar to what we had last Friday, which would be 39.28. So that's kind of more the daily target that we got set up here. No, it's going. It's pretty funny how after how choppy it was, you just get a really clean trend. Well, Tesla is up pretty good. This list is not the right one. Maybe I should close and restart it. It looks like Tesla's up almost 5%. Wow, well, Volkswagen is up huge again today, 10%. GameStop 3.5%. Apple is down. Apple and Amazon are down though. So that's maybe, well, that's extended hours, and then this one it's normal. So I don't know. Let's close it and restart. Should fix the columns. Bank of America slamming Bitcoin again, I see. Buying one BCTC is like owning 60 cars. What? Stimmies and Stimmy. That's better. That said, a lot of them are off of their highs. So what is driving it? Must be the apples. Yeah. Okay. Well, now, if you look at GameStop, I think you got to say that the retail horde seems to have lasting power, don't you think? I mean, I really don't think that stock is going to stay in the 200s. I really don't. But it remains up there and refuses to die. Okay, well, here come existing home sales. Let's see here. Oh boy, Cathay Woods ARC raised its price target on Tesla to 3,000 from 1,400. It's trading below 700 right now. The firm's bull case is 4,000, while the bear case is 1,500. I really think that the guys at ARC are crazy. I do. I think that they're misusing the models, and I think that her engineers aren't as smart as they think they are, and Kathy Woods is falling for it because you can't sit down and do a Monte Carlo simulation and say that Tesla is going to increase 4 times. Where the heck do you get that from? That is just insanity. Like, if that is the basis of your long-term strategy is a Monte Carlo simulation, I don't know about that one, man. I would prefer to see a model that goes through how to value Tesla and shows that it's been effective at modeling it in the past, and then showing the range of possibilities of what it's going to get. But here she's saying that their bear case is that the stock is going to double. You've got to be kidding me. Politico, has the Biden administration fumbled the Johnson & Johnson vaccine rollout? Maybe, although Politico attributes it more to the short supply given the U.S. by Johnson & Johnson, and that's fair to a point. The initial projection for the first delivery after an emergency use authorization was 10 million doses, but Johnson & Johnson only delivered slightly more than 4 million. For some reason, though, almost half of those doses haven't been injected into arms almost a month later. The initial supply got overmanaged, but that got one key difference. States got confused as to whether they should hold second doses in reserve to make sure those who had first doses didn't miss a secondary booster. Yeah, that was a problem. AMC tanking? Well, GameStop just took a hit. Pretty good hit there. AMC down 13%. Does look like it's turning. Probably could justify a short here. Yeah. I talk to people online, and most people I speak to here on YouTube are very reluctant to get the vaccine. Well, the concern that I'm hearing out there now, and I don't think that this is a valid concern, but they're saying, like, okay, what if you get your immune system to all be up and ready to attack a certain variant, and then the variant changes, and because you've had the vaccine, your immune system overreacts to the variant and it kills you. But I don't think it works that way. Don't think it works that way. And I think that if you've already been vaccinated against a variant, that you're far more likely to or if you've been vaccinated, you're much more likely to be able to deal with a variant because they're still going to be similar. So, and then there was that whole thing about blood clots. Apparently, they did identify what caused the blood clots, and that they have precautions to take for the people that fit those qualifications. But it was only like 2 people. But that wasn't the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Anyways, like, the whole thing is just kind of like, I mean, I haven't worried about getting it because I'm not vulnerable and I've already had it. You know? Like, that's the thing that's silly about this. Not silly, but I mean, man, who's in power in this country? It's really obvious. And when we shut down the country for vulnerable the whole country for a very, very small vulnerable population. And obviously, those are the ones that should be getting the vaccine. Getting twitchiness in my arm. My body's telling me I need something. Okay. Existing home sales plunge as higher rate impacts accelerate. Negative 6.6. Really? Even though the real estate market is still super, super hot. Okay, well. High Court to consider reinstating Boston Marathon bomber sentence. Death sentence, huh? Treating bond yields push up tech stocks. But they didn't really okay, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. Cool. Well, we got a winner there. That wipes out our loss that we had. Makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Well, I'm thinking now that I got a winner and we're not going to have much more going at the bottom of the hour, I quit so that I can finish getting ready for the day. I'm not going to be 100% today anyways. And nothing all that interesting is going on. The 65 plus crowd is vaccinated and ready to party, says the New York Times. Okay. So you're getting a little bit of distribution up here at the top. It looks like the money that wanted to be in there probably got in which suggests to me that there could be a little bit more upside, but that the upside is just very limited. Okay, 39.18 again. May no long here wouldn't be crazy. The cop that lives down the street just took off quickly for the day, I guess. Any idea why RTY is tanking so much? I don't know. How much are they? Let's see here. Well, it's down 1%. It could be that some of those most shorted names look like they got hammered a little bit there early on, and that might be the cause. I am also seeing that, like, some of these, like Tesla there, just seems like way overdone. But clearly somebody really believes in that one, right? I probably shouldn't read too much into the rest of the market from that. I find it interesting that I'm seeing headlines that are like, interest rates retreating is helping out tech stocks, but tech is down. Tech is down. I don't really know where the S&P 500 is getting its positives from. And I mean, the way I've been reading it is this could continue on, but now it's really looking like it's going to roll over. That home sales report is interesting. Is it going to be the case that the real estate market poops out really fast? Okay, well, there's the going higher again. I don't know, like the chart patterns, which I don't think are effective or predictive or anything, but I can definitely see how somebody might think that it's going to turn over based off of those. Even though the order flow and the overall action today has very much been long. Saudis launch major Gulf naval drills to protect oil facilities against terror attacks. Let's read this one from Win. I mean, everybody still thinks that the dollar is going to move down today, right? I think they're still going short the dollar, but oh man, the heater turned on and it's getting hot in here. All right. GameStop trying to dig its way out here. There we go. They're trying. You mini pushing up again? Not seeing much come in through the squawks now. Seemed like there was a lot of news there earlier, huh? Thank you for that win. Bitfinex retweeted this picture of Spider-Man talking to a pterodactyl man saying, you could use all of this to cure cancer and stuff. And the pterodactyl says, I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. Saying that that's like what Elon Musk is like. Bank of America downgrade Snap. Oh, that's Snapchat, right? Yes. Are treasury yields going to push down again here? A asteroid or supervolcano could certainly destroy us, but we also face risks the dinosaur never saw. An engineered virus, nuclear war, inadvertent. You know, it seems like people are really coming around to the thought that the virus was engineered by China. I really think that world leaders have a strong reason to believe that it was China, and that they just haven't been saying it because they don't want to panic the public, even though I think everybody kind of suspects now at this point that it was an engineered virus. But when you go in and you look at what they were trying to engineer it to do and everything else like that, I think that there was a reason that they were really freaked out about it from the get-go, especially China. Inadvertent creation of a micro black hole. No, that's we say inaccurate. So there was some concern that the Super Hadron Collider could create a black hole, but it turned out that to not be the case. How come they were freaked up about it, but not even closing borders? Well, I think that China said developed. So if that was the case, and we don't know that that's the case, okay, I don't want to be spreading misinformation. Some U.S. officials have said that they have a reason to believe that it was an escaped virus, particularly because of how it initially spread, but they haven't proven that. But if that was the case, China would know immediately that it was their virus that escaped, and they would lock down on it. But they were developing it to use as a biological weapon. And they didn't want to miss out on the benefits of using the weapon, so they left their borders open so that everybody else would get it. It probably has spread more in China than they've said, but I don't know. But I do kind of wonder if China's whole theory was, well, we can like totally lock everybody down in wherever it breaks out and stop it there within a month, whereas the rest of the world, it will just go on and on and on and be a drag on their growth, which is what happened. Which is funny because I remember some conversations early on saying, "Oh, there's no way that China like released it. Like that would be, it wouldn't benefit them because they've hurt more from it than anybody else." But then, I don't know. I mean, it was when it was hitting China that it seemed like some of the worst economic damage was done, but it was when it came out in Chicago that things really got ugly, right? Strategically, they got the world to throw itself into the discount bin. It took less than a month for them to start moving across the world buying up distressed assets. Yeah. We're talking about the possibility that the coronavirus originated from the facility in Wuhan. So there was, I forget who it was, but there was a U.S. official the other day saying that because of the initial reports were all a group of people from the facility, that they believe that that is how it initially got out. And I've been saying, I believe that the governments around the world have had reason to believe this from the very beginning, but weren't saying so. And that's where it's like, knowing that it was an engineered virus and what it was intended to do, then you get into, well, you would really want to shut things down because that it was intended to like cripple your economy unless you were able to shut down and end it really quickly, right? But then it was an early escaped version of the virus that wasn't as effective as China was ultimately trying to make. And so, you get what I mean? Conspiracy theories on the origin of COVID-19 and enhancing global governance as biosafety as a matter of urgency. Yeah. That's kind of funny. What do you do when it's a conspiracy theory is originating from government people, right? So like there's the other one was all this stuff this last year or so about aliens, man. Who was it? There was another guy that was saying that there was a lot more information that they had about these unidentified flying objects that the military has been encountering, and that they were encountering them almost daily at some point. And a bunch of speculation that it also includes that they've actually found real vehicles. It's all just like, but here it's coming from government people that are starting the conspiracy theories, even though we don't really know what's going on yet. That one really feels to me like if they're preparing people for it, Like it's just been this slow drip, don't you think? There's definitely something interesting we're going to learn here in the next few years. Whether it's actually aliens remains to be seen, but something's going on out there. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Well, the E-mini is kind of stuck here. We're getting into the reversal time period. It could turn down, but I feel like I should just quit for today because I didn't shower and didn't eat enough, and so I should do all that to be ready for work. I did get a trade in, and I'm happy. Oh, Gabby took a third one. Gabby did real well today, so I'm happy about that. Rick Greenell? Yeah, that's what it was. It was Rick Greenell talking to the Fox News business lady, right? And she was like, wait, what? Like, she wasn't expecting him to say that stuff in her interview. And it's funny because we're all still like, oh, this can't really actually be the thing, right? This can't actually be the thing. But there is evidence, Ace. No time to believe a claim is when there is evidence, not because one feels like there's something dripping down over the years. They've released like video evidence, and the military has come out and said, we don't know what these are. Haven't you watched those videos? What we're talking about, the aliens, right? Haven't you watched those videos? So we have empirical evidence of something. We don't know that they're aliens, right? Yeah. But the government is going to release more. They've said that they're going, like, they made a law and they've been compiling the stuff together. And what are we actually going to get is the question. And the closer that we get, the more people start coming out and saying stuff about it. Like people that are involved in these things and would know, and they're kind of hinting that it appears to me. Well, so there's this other thing where people have claimed that they've actually recovered wreckage. I don't know if I believe those, but it seems to me that there are unidentified flying objects that the military has encountered, and that a significant part of the military believes that they're aliens. Is that I love watching Ace go through this process. See, it's a good point, Ace, though. It's like, in how many instances is there actually real empirical proof of proving something, and we never learn that thing is true because we immediately dismiss the suggestion of it out of hand? That's happened so much on the news media, right? They play with us. The media definitely plays this game. Like, did you see those headlines? I think it was from the New York Times, where they were saying, you don't actually want to think for yourself. That just helps the conspiracy theorists. You just need to trust what the news tells you. And I'm like, what? What? That was a newspaper said that. You shouldn't use your critical thinking. Just believe what the news tells you. It's like, come on. See, let me argue. So here, I think there's an easier way to argue this that would be more convincing to him. You say that, okay, so show me the empirical evidence. What empirical evidence do you have to suggest that there's no empirical evidence? See, you didn't even look to say, was there actually empirical evidence on this thing? You just dismissed it, just the idea of it, without even looking to see if there actually was empirical evidence. You see? Because why? You had absolutely no reason to believe that there was no empirical evidence. You made an assumption that there wasn't. See? Turns out there isn't any. Well, there is those videos. Have you seen those videos, Ace? Of the objects in question? I don't have evidence for my evidence is evidence. It's empirical evidence inception, right? That's not true. If there was any evidence that has been substantiated, we would all know about it. That's not necessarily true. That's a fallacious statement. There are a number of things out there that are true, and you would never know about the evidence of it. And if the media doesn't make a big deal out of it, or the media lies about it, you'd never find out. But there's been a number of things over the past year, much more to do in the area of politics, of course, but there have been a number of things in which there is plenty of empirical evidence to conclusively prove a certain conclusion that is contrary to what the news said, and the news ignores it, or, you don't find out about it until several weeks later. Like, remember this argument that we had about Donald Trump speaking to the Georgia officials and everybody saying that it was election interference? And I said, no, if you actually go and read the transcripts that's been released, you would see that he didn't say anything wrong. And now, a month later, the newspaper that originally broke that story retracted their story. Of course, everybody else has said that they had their sources confirm it didn't, but the source was a Democrat with an axe to grind, and he lied about what was in the meeting. And we called that out that day, that was false. And you told me that it was wrong, and you were like, whatever. Come on, man. But at what point do you sit down and say, oh, actually, relying on other people to tell or prove things to me isn't a very effective way of going about things, right? Oh, we're straying away from the alien claims. Well, yeah. Now this is the part that gets really funny about it, though, is that there is a lot of talk in the news media about it. Ace, I'm surprised that you haven't seen this stuff. It is when I don't have access to actual, but in that particular instance, you could have gone and looked at the transcript. We talked about the transcript. You could have gone and looked. I went and I read the transcript. Do you really remember that? Lots of texts, lots of papers. Okay, but have you looked at the empirical evidence that we've mentioned? Let's focus in on that point. Let's focus in on that point. I'm going to ignore you because you're probably a little bit delayed. Have you looked at the empirical evidence that we have just cited, which is video from military of unidentified flying objects? Have you seen that? No, I didn't ask if you grant the video. I asked, have you seen it? Okay, but have you seen it? We all agree there's video of something we don't know what it is. Okay. I've seen a crappy video. Oh, the video that I saw was not just of a white dot, but okay. Let's just assume that you have seen what it is. Okay, so there is video, and here are other things that we know from military sources. Okay. One, a good portion of the military does believe that they are off-world vehicles. Okay, there are people in the military that believe these are off-world vehicles, is one. And two, there is a lot more video to come out. And they are compiling it right now because it is required by law. If you keep with this subject, you'll be inundated with all sorts of conspiracy theories. That would be fun. I want evidence so I cannot look at it and then tell you how invalid your evidence is. So here's the thing: is it possible that those are off-world vehicles? It's as good as any other explanation they have at the moment. So the thing that's crazy about it is that the movement of these vehicles like defies our understanding of physics. That's another thing that they've said. Sure it is. How is that not a good theory? You think that it's the worst theory? Why? Because you don't want to believe that there are aliens out there? Because you've been taught to dismiss conspiracy theories about aliens? Like given the evidence that we have in this situation, I personally, so like here's the thing. This when I first saw this, so like the one that really blew my mind was the one of there saw a little light over the Temple Mount, and then it went like right over it, and then went pew. And that one was crazy, right? And then these videos came out of what is like an actual like looks like some sort of a vehicle. Okay. The speed at which these things go does no plane or vehicle that we know of could perform that. Like it defies our understanding of physics. Like we have data on this thing that doesn't move the way that we believe anything can move. Any physical object can move, right? The CGI. Well, the other interesting thing about that, the reason I mentioned that Temple Mount one was because it showed up on multiple cameras. Anyways, so that's where you kind of have to. So when I first saw this stuff, I thought, oh, well, it must be some sort of military UAV, right? Like when you take all of the jet technology and things that the military has and you put it in a tiny little drone, you can probably get something that moves really fast, right? But then they're going at it and they're saying like this defies physics. Like we don't know how they're doing this. So I'm starting more and more to doubt that it could actually just be a Chinese or Russian UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. Because he doesn't want to believe something he associates with people that he considers intellectually inferior to him. That desperation invalidates any evidence from the get-go. Perhaps. Sure, a video is evidence. No. What you're saying is really. Is there conclusive proof that it's aliens? No. Is there a video that could possibly be of aliens? Yeah. So if I showed you a video of how to run a car off cat piss, does that mean it works? If the military released that video, I would probably have to admit that cars can run on cat piss. Yes, Ace. If it was put out by the freaking military and they said we think that this car is running on cat piss, then yes. If it was put out by the military, like there's the thing is like, hey guys, the military thinks these might be aliens. Oh, you're gullible if you believe that stuff. What? Come on. Speaking on aliens, why is we shouldn't talk about that today. The problem is connecting the video to aliens. What other explanation do you have? See, like here's the problem, Ace, is that you have a video, okay, that is empirical evidence. That video is empirical evidence. It is something that you can watch and verify for yourself, and that we know the origin of it, okay? What is that? Now we have to have a bunch of theories. And based on the evidence that we have, I am arguing that aliens is the best explanation right now. That is called argument from ignorance. Well, no, but you could say it. We could give a couple of theories, right? I think there's 3 theories. One is that it is some sort of energy aberration of some sort. The next is that it is an unmanned aerial vehicle from China or Russia. And the third is that it's aliens. Those are the 3 major theories that we have. The problem is that there is empirical evidence coming out of that. Are there 43 theories? Are there? Well, of those 3 that I'm familiar with, the 2 of them don't make much sense. One, because if it was just an energy aberration, they have seen like these objects on radar for long periods of time. So I think that it would have to be a very, very wildly different understanding of physics and the possible forms that energy can take for that to just be energy, right? For it to be an unmanned aerial vehicle would require technological abilities far beyond what we in our current publicly understood physics models know. How did you rule out a camera malfunction? Because the government has recorded hundreds of incidents. Right? Yeah. Raise your skeptical level again. But here's the thing. Like, the military is starting to say that they think it's aliens. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else you want to say. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall in the military right now, arguing about this? Here you're having an argument in the actual military about whether or not it's actually a UFO or not. Yeah. But if it really is aliens, then there's this whole thing about that they have recovered wreckage. And there are people that have claimed that they have recovered wreckage. And this is a thing going long into the past that there's been tons of intense debate over, because I don't think that it's been proven. So what happens if they compile all of this information and it comes out? Like, I think in the next 6 months, we should have a much more information to argue about, right? Citation needed? Yeah, I can go find that one. So that was last week. In fact, we could find it right now. Recovered off-world vehicles is, I think, the term that they used. Yeah, okay. So in March, astrophysicist Eric W. Davis, who spent years working as a consultant for the Pentagon UFO program and is now a defense contractor, gave a classified briefing to the Defense Department on what he called off-world vehicles not made of this Earth. In other words, spaceships. The bombshell quote came from the latest UFO report from the New York Times, which has owned the beat for the past several years. In December 2017, the paper reported on the existence of Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program that was supposedly shuttered in 2012. That article, hailed as a historical inflection point in our attitudes regarding UFOs, implied the same message that the most recent one does. Basically, that flying saucers are real. Okay, so this one is where they're saying this guy who was a defense contractor has claimed that they are out there. So that's where I'm saying that if it is UFOs, we will know about it in like 6 months from now, because that's expected to be in this report that they have to compile. So we'll know a lot more in 6 months. Well, that's why I said I don't know if I necessarily believe this one guy, but we don't really have to. It's not like the guy that claimed that there was this whole thing. We don't have to live that situation, right? We just have to wait 6 months. And then there was the thing over the weekend. $20. Empirical evidence for alien spacecrafts. The issue with that bet, Ace, is that it's going to come out and there's going to be a ton of empirical evidence that suggests that they're aliens, and it's not going to be conclusively proven, and you're going to say that you won. Even though it's like you're going to have a ton of evidence that points to the likely probability that it's aliens. And the only way that you're going to admit that you're wrong is if an alien is standing you in the face. Like there's a difference between like something is proven and like the evidence suggests. You know what I mean? I will be fine with the military saying it's an alien craft. How would you know it's an alien? Chris Angel. Wow. Probably we're not. I don't think we're going to get that, because that's the thing. Is this guy crazy or not? Because if he's not crazy, then we'll know. And if he is crazy, then it's not going to be in that report, right? Or if I didn't say that right. If it's not in that report, then I'm going to have to say this guy's wrong. But if it's not in that report, then the evidence is going to say, here's everything that we know about it, but we're still not 100% sure what it is. So, no, I'm not agreeing to that bet, because you're making a disingenuous bet. I don't not shoot for 100% on anything. I won't take that one, because I don't think it's genuine. Because if the bet is Ace will believe that there's aliens, I'm not betting on that one, because it seems like you just don't want to believe it. And I think that you're distorting what the claim is, right? And I don't know if that report is going to have it in it or not. Of course. You have DNA of Sasquatch? Oh, okay, we're all over the deep end now. I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna have to look that one up now. What makes people believe that there is DNA evidence of Sasquatch? Oh, I don't know if it's in 6 months. Yeah, I'm not going to bet on that, because I don't know if they're going to claim that or not. I would bet you that within the next, I have to go and look up the thing, but I know that the military is going to release some information. It could be that they really are off-world vehicles. Yeah, that's what all the UFO guys think. Was today difficult to trade, or am I not prepared? Red Ghee Water, I would say that today was difficult to trade. At least a portion of it was. So. No. That is not what happened here, Ace. What happened was I made a particular claim, and then you tried to move the goalpost away. What did I say? There is video evidence that some people in the military believes are aliens. Okay? That's true. That's my claim. Two, that the military is going to release a report about it in the near future. That is true. Okay. Number three, there is one guy out there that is a defense contractor that claims to have seen off-world vehicles. And if that person is correct, then that will be in the report. But we don't know if that person is correct or if he just misunderstood what he was looking at. Right. And then you have to go into what is that guy? There was that guy that released a ton of information like 10 or 20 years ago that all the UFO conspiracy theory shows are based off of. It's the same kind of a situation like that. Crackpot defense contractors are a dime a dozen. Yeah, you're probably right. So he could be wrong. But that's why I'm saying, let's just wait on that one until that report comes out, and then let's make a conclusion about what he was saying off of that. Right? I don't even know what coast to coast is. So I think I've pretty clearly stated out what we know and what we don't know and when we might know more about a particular thing, right? And what we will know and won't know after that particular event happens. Okay, I gotta go. Stay profitable, friends.